A new one. Morning, Mike. Good morning, Cliff.
Morning, John. Morning, Mike.
I have my from my weekend here. See my 250th.
You don't look a day or two 49.
Yeah, that's what everybody said. I look pretty good for that age.
Great coverage. It was a good weekend. Had a lot of fun.
So before we start real quick, I saw the email or text, the thing, your comments, guys. I tried to open that link from Fru. I couldn't do it. That he was, I guess he's in Japan. What was in that? Because I couldn't see it for some reason.
The bullet train, I think.
Yeah, he was at the bullet train station, and the trains pulled in.
No, I'm talking about before that when you said something, John, you and Cliff, about with the weekend for 4th of July. I didn't know what was in that part.
I'll go ahead.
Wait a minute, let me see if I can find the comment.
Well, it was an American flag. Happy 4th of July, an American flag, and God bless America.
Oh, you had...
Before that, he had pictures in front of like these Japanese-looking structures with the extra wide, pretty roofs.
No, you had made a comment about just why can't we be happy about for the 4th of July or something like that. I can't remember if it was.
Oh yeah.
That's the one I couldn't open.
Our conversations are going over the internet as we speak.
Oh, well, then I better be careful.
Mike, you never swear. I'm a bad guy when it comes to that.
No. I have used a few choice words, but not on the podcast. Not on the podcast.
I can't think of his grandson, that's about it. The phone was bugging, pestering me for the link. He's not here. Maybe he fell back to sleep.
Well, that's possible.
Thank you, Jeannie. We got 3 minutes to go, kids. How was your weekend, Cliff?
It was pretty good. I don't know that I didn't go to the fireworks or any of that stuff. So, spent time with Martha.
Is she still over Wentworth?
Yeah.
How are you liking the food over there?
She's not.
Oh. You got 60 seconds, Cliff. Good morning, everybody. As you can see, no need for sunglasses today. I'm going to turn it over to Cliff. Good morning, Cliff.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. As John says, I am Cliff Krieger, the host. Eileen Delrossi, my co-host, is missing somewhere out there in cyberspace.
She texted she'd be late.
But she is alive. Mike Smith down in Florida. Mike, how are you?
Good morning. Yep, good. Still warm down here.
And we're hoping Fru's going to be zooming in from Japan to provide a more international flavor. So the national debt is going up. In 25 years, which I don't think I have to worry about, the interest will consume all the discretionary spending, like defense, foreign aid, all that stuff that's not mandated in Social Security and Medicare. Something to worry about. Low today, 65, high 75, and cloudy. So that would be it. Looking back in history, guy made a right turn instead of a left turn, and the world is totally different. In 1411, Ming China's Admiral Zheng He returned to Nanking after the third treasure voyage and presented the Sinhalese king captured during a battle. The thing about Zheng He and the treasure voyages is they were huge ships that the Chinese had in the 1400s, and they made it all the way to Africa. If they'd made a left-hand turn, they would have made it to North and South America. And I think the world might have been different. The other thing that happened is after the third voyage, the Chinese decided it was all wacko stuff and dismantled the ships in the shipyards and left it to Christopher Columbus, whose 3 ships were none the size as big as the Chinese ships. Fru, I saw you there. Where are you?
He disappeared.
I know.
Well, he can't hear us. If you can't see him, you can't hear him.
Yeah, Cliff. I am at Osaka Bay in Japan.
Ah,
Did you shut your camera off, Fru? We're not seeing you.
It's gonna be it's gonna be coming up. I wanted to use my computer, but the battery's off, and the charger here, they have just the charger that has 2 prongs, not the 3-prong charger.
I hate when that happens.
Yes.
all right. Today in 15, there's Fru. It's a little cloudy out there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's 7 p.m.
Yeah. Today in 1536, Thomas More is executed after having been convicted on perjured evidence. Thomas More had to go. He opposed Henry VIII's continuing dalliances with marriages. There's a great book, movie, play about Thomas More called A Man for All Seasons. And he was. In 1777, the siege of Fort Ticonderoga, after a bombardment by British artillery under British Gentleman Johnny Burgoyne, American forces retreated from Fort Ticonderoga, New York. Yeah. So, in 1779, the Battle of Grenada, the French defeat British naval forces in the Caribbean during the American Revolutionary War. That was pretty important. 1854, Republican Party of the United States held its first convention in Jackson, Michigan. In 1885, Louis Pasteur successfully tests his vaccine against rabies on Joseph Meister, a boy who was bitten by a rabid dog. And in 1887, David Kalakua, monarch of the Kingdom of Hawaii, is forced to sign the Bayonet Constitution, which transferred much of the king's authority to the legislature. In 1892, 3,800 striking steel workers engaged in a day-long battle with Pinkerton agents during the Homestead steel mill strike, leaving 10 dead and dozens wounded. In 1917, during World War I, Arabian troops led by T. Lawrence, known as Lawrence of Arabia, and Abu Tayyib, captured Aqaba from the Ottoman Empire during the Arab Revolt. 1933, the first Major League All-Star game is played in Kaminsky Park in Chicago. American League defeats the Nationals 4-2. 1939, the Jewish legislation in pre-war Nazi Germany closes the last remaining Jewish enterprises. And I wanted to talk about this from an education point of view, but Eileen's not here yet, so I'll kick that down the road a bit. 1942, Anne Frank and her family go into hiding in the secret annex above her father's office in an Amsterdam warehouse. Anne Frank eventually dies in the Holocaust. Her diary gets published by her father, who survived. In 1944, future baseball player Jackie Robinson refuses to move to the back of a bus, leading to his court-martial. In 1947, the AK-47 rifle, known as the Kalashnikov, goes into production in the Soviet Union. In 1957, Thea Gibson wins at the Wimbledon Championship. Becoming the first black athlete to do so. In 1957, John Lennon and Paul McCartney meet for the first time as teenagers at a festival 3 years before forming the Beatles. In 1946, George W. Bush, our 43rd president, was born. In 1998, Roy Rogers, cowboy actor, singer, passed away. He was born in 1911. And in 2009, Robert McNamara, Secretary of Defense during the critical points in the Vietnam War, passed away. Early on, I thought Robert McNamara was doing a great job bringing good management to the Department of Defense. Turned out not a strategic thinker. And today is the feast of St. Maria Goretti. It is also International Kissing Day, and it's Teachers' Day in Peru. So, FIFA, we lost to Turkey, but we beat Bosnia-Herzegovina, and now tonight we play Belgium. Interesting.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cliff. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting to me. Belgium has only been a nation since 1830, sitting right there in the heart of Europe. And I'm not sure it's one country as it is. They speak 3 languages. And, what do you think the odds of beating Belgium are?
Well, now that we have our striker back that was issued a red card, I think the odds have risen greatly. We have a good chance of beating them. I think we have an equal or slightly better team, even though the odds are saying that Belgium is just very, very slightly favored. But I think that was before we have our striker back. For those of you who don't know, our striker Balogun was issued a red card in the previous game, which I thought was totally unfair. And I had a thread of other referees that we all were looking and analyzing that. And one of them used to be a national referee in the U.S., and we thought that was totally unfair. We did find out, it's interesting, and I'll add it in, whether anything really happened, is the referee never even whistled a foul for, I think he whistled a foul for it, but not a card. And then the VAR had official contacted him to review it. The VAR official was from Venezuela. That was not a smart thing for FIFA to have assigned a Venezuelan official on a U.S. game. So there's a little controversy on that, and whether that was there was some I don't know, not the right stuff done. So usually when a red card is issued, the player can't play the next game or even more games, depending on how severe what happened in the game. So FIFA has a disciplinary committee to actually review all this stuff after the game, and they decided that they're going to let our player from the U.S. play this game, but they put him on probation for the year. For if anything like this happens again in any games in the next year, then he'll have to sit out a game. A lot of people didn't understand this, how they could do this, but I looked everything up, and they can. Actually, they've done it for more than one player for this World Cup. One of the big star players was Ronaldo from Spain, I believe, Portugal or Spain, and Portugal. And he already had a 3-game suspension going into the World Cup, and they put him on a probation to let him play in the World Cup. And there was a couple other countries that they've already done this for too. But everybody's making a big thing out of it for the U.S. because, the U.S. is one of the hosts in the tournament. But this isn't unheard of, and I'm glad that they did this, the disciplinary committee, because multiple officials from all levels I've talked to, and the analysts and all that, thought that was uncalled for, having a red card, and the referee in the game had not even thought that should be even a yellow card. We all thought he could have got a yellow card, but they only did this after the VAR official called them on it. And if a red card was given for this, then Messier should have gotten a red card in the game he did. And there were a few other games that should have probably been a red card also. So I'm glad that they did this. And we'll see if it helps the U.S. If they win the game or if they don't. So, but I'm glad that they are allowing him to play. Mexico got lost yesterday. That was unfortunate. I think they're as good a team as England or better, but they had a big lapse for about a minute and a half where they allowed 2 goals to be scored, and that was unfortunate. The big game today, earlier today, is going to be Portugal and Spain. Those are 2 big powerhouses, and whoever wins that game, and the U.S., if they beat Belgium, they're going to have to play the winner of that game. So it doesn't get any easier for any of the teams now, but I think now Argentina now has a much easier path with Mexico losing to getting into the finals again. France is strong. We'll see how they do.
Okay. So, is Take Me Home Country Roads still the American theme song?
Well, I believe it still is. I mean, we'll see at the game today, but we'll see what happens there. It's interesting that that's become the song, but it's everybody likes it, so things like that get started and they just get bigger and bigger.
Yep. So Fru, I heard there was a big 4th of July celebration in Tokyo, which would have taken place probably on the 3rd of July here in the United States. I heard it was quite good. Did you observe it?
I was before I get to that, Cliff, I just want to echo what Mike said. I think the chances of our chances are far more better than the previous years. So far, we have. I didn't watch the match where our player was given a red card, but I think that the match between Argentina and Messi really would have had a red card, as Mike has said. But we are playing now better than ever, and I don't think Belgium. I don't believe what most people talk. I mean, we are going to beat Belgium. That's just what I see.
Belgium was very, very lucky to get by Senegal. Very lucky.
Yes. Yeah. Our players are putting on a wonderful show. They lost just one game.
Oh.
Yeah, I was up north, Cliff, up north in the village, in a place called Hirazumi.
Oh.
Yes.
So, did you talk to any Japanese people? Did they say anything about the 4th of July to you?
Oh, the few that I talked to, when they saw me, I said, American, most of the young guys, when I say Boston, they say, oh, Boston. They were very happy.
Yeah. So, are you over there on business or pleasure?
Pleasure, Cliff. I just decided to see the world.
Yeah. And how was the bullet train?
Oh, well, that thing is super fast. But the thing is very, very stable. In there, you put a glass on the table with water. It doesn't even. It's very, very fast. From up north where I was, Hirazumi, down to Tokyo, it would have taken about 8 hours under a normal train, but that one takes about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. We could use some high-speed rail in the United States.
Oh, that would be very, very good.
People wouldn't use it.
What, John?
People would not use it.
Why not?
They prefer to drive.
Yeah, but the people take that train in going into D.C. There's people who take that into D.C. a lot.
More people drive into D.C. than take the train.
Well, I understand that, but we won't know unless California gets their act in order. I mean, weren't they supposed to be building?
Never going to happen. They were screwing the railroad people, hiring more of their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never say never, John.
Give California another $200 billion, and we'll see if they build one finally. So.
Well, Steve Hilton might get elected governor.
Yeah.
And that might change things around.
Well, maybe.
So, I was looking back over the weekend, and there seemed to be a lot of party poopers with regard to 4th of July. I mean, those on the left saying there really isn't such a great nation. Ooh. And those on the right having nothing good to say about the left. I read Mayor Zoran Madami's speech as it was prepared, and it seemed okay to me, except when he talked about oligarchs running elections. But my Democratic Party brother assured me that all the elections are fair and square. So I don't know. Maybe the mayor was talking about George Soros. Do you think that could be the case?
I hope not. Well, I don't think so.
George Soros seems to buy a lot of elections.
It was interesting. You're talking about both sides of the coin. I was watching a number of different things over the weekend, because of 4th of July. And it came out with these polls about how people aren't happy to be proud to be Americans and all that. And it came out that, and I've talked with Kathy and I have talked about this a lot. It just seems to me like these people are just unhappy in their lives. So they've got to blame somebody for their life not being what they think it should be. And so they're using that energy to do the different things that they've been doing. It just seems like, they don't, I don't know if they don't have a purpose or they're just not happy. I mean, for people who've traveled, like Fru's traveled, John's traveled, I've traveled, people here in the United States who just never travel outside even their own area where they live, they don't realize how lucky they are to be in this country. And with the World Cup coming here and people coming from other countries, they're like, oh my gosh, look at the United States, all this stuff you can do and what we have compared to them. We take for granted, and I don't know why we don't teach this in school. We take for granted all the things that we have all here. We assume that everybody else has that. And that is the exception more than the rule in the world. It's very unfortunate that people don't understand how lucky we are to be here.
Mike, I got 3 texts I'm going to read you guys. Good morning. The media around here are pushing a sport that once it's completed will never be talked about till the next boring World Cup. No one cares about soccer. That's from Jay. Apparently, all the businesses near Foxborough didn't get the business they were told was going to happen. I haven't seen any reports on that, but thank you for letting us know. We don't need fireworks anymore. Everything can be AI generated. And to you, I just tell you, stay in bed. Don't get out of bed.
Going back to what Mike said, there's a mindset. When I was stationed in Germany the first time in the 1960s, we were on 3-year tours. We were to be there 3 years. And there were those people who lived in base housing, which was built for us by the French, thank you. And there were those of us that lived on the economy. The people that lived in base housing, when given a chance, applied to curtail their tour and return to the United States early. And people who lived on the economy out in Bitburg, Germany, and the surrounding little villages, we tended to be extending our tours so that we could be there longer and enjoy our time in Germany. So I think what you're saying may be right, Mike. It resonates with me.
Well, I spent a good time. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. When I went to school when I was younger, you learned about American history, and it was encouraged to be proud of being an American. It was that's what happened in schools. You were happy, to be in the United States. You were taught that this is a good country, and I just don't think that is happening in school. Some people I've talked to, teachers I know, it's happening in school. I mean, it's especially in the colleges. It's like, we're a bad country. We do things so bad. And when people tell me that, my only question is, I said, then why does everybody want to come here if we're so terrible? And they stop then. They don't have an answer. I mean, everybody wants to come here. And if we're so bad, why does everybody? Are we perfect? Absolutely not. Do we have a lot to improve on? Yes, we do. But we are a lot better than a lot of other places.
Mike, much of the weekend, I'm sitting there with my phone. I'm on Facebook watching videos of soccer people from all over the planet emphasizing that one guy says, I can't believe it, that there's an air conditioner in everybody's hotel room. Air conditioning's everywhere in this country. And he lives in England. They don't have air conditioning in England. So
Same thing in New Zealand where my son lives. They don't have air conditioning
food
there.
portions. They go in. You go into I go into a gas station. I can have whatever I want. The gigantic portions that you Americans put on the plate. No wonder you're all fat. And he was just fascinated by the portions, how cheap it is. He's at a gas pump and he's paying like $4.89 a gallon. He goes, and gas is a bargain. So we don't realize how good we have it. Listening to some of the characters from around the globe bragging about how good America has it.
Well, John, I look at it differently. We are looking at it in terms of material things. Cliff, you mentioned it in the 60s, America was the moral beacon around the world. And more so, you see people like of blessed memory, President Jimmy Carter, they went around the world spreading the compassionate spirit of America. And that is what people really admired. Even I remember George Bush II talking about compassionate republicanism. So that compassionate, that thing, that beacon that America sent all over the world, most Americans, some of them too, that have equally met, when they travel now, they don't want to say that they are Americans. Why? It's good that sometimes I might just say something. Does it mean that if someone sees something that is not fair about his country, that person should not talk about? And most people capitalize on that. When you ask question, does it mean that you are not supposed to belong here? It should mean that you love the country very much. You see something that's not going, or you travel around the world, you see something, and you really see that things are changing in the way that it's making us somehow not really that beacon of morality that the whole world looked upon. And sometimes we really sit here and trivialize things as if we don't equally see it. That is not fair.
So, Fru, how are the food portions over there in Japan?
John, food here is easy.
That wasn't the question. The portion.
It's not a question of portion. It's not a question of portion. It's a question.
To me, it is.
No,
To
the
me,
question is it accessible? Is it available? Are you staffing? Wherever you go here, even at a train station, everywhere, you see how these people are organized, neat, and everything.
So food is readily available to everyone.
The portion.
Food is, yes.
I've been
It's
looking
not
up.
it's not a question of how much. It's a question of.
Yes, it is a question of how much. Is your plate? Is it an American portion, or is it a European portion that you're seeing? I think they're giving you a European portion, and you're going like, I'm starving to death, man. I can hardly wait till I get home.
John, you see how skinny and healthy these people are. If you give them our portion, do you think that they will be able to finish it?
Now the truth is coming out. They're skipping you on the portions. I got you. He's getting like, you know how we get a whole hot dog? They have pigs wrapped in blanket, and they call that their hot dog.
No, their hot dog is about one fifth of our hot dog in terms of.
Yeah.
I do got to jump in a little bit. Is that people in Europe? They have a different eating schedule than we do. They tend to eat their bigger meal in the middle of the day and then a smaller meal in the evening. And a lot of people there, they do more walking, you know.
Yes.
So, if we did more of that, I think that might be different. They have a much longer lunchtime than we do. They might have a 2-hour lunchtime. So that gives them time to eat a bigger meal and relax and then go back to work, So it's it's not necessarily apples to apples for the eating schedule and
Okay,
all that.
well, let's back the bus up a little bit, Mike. Now, Fru, right now it's what, 7:30 p.m. there?
Yes.
So when you have lunch tomorrow, which Mike says that's the big meal of the day, do you leave lunch hungry?
No, John. Well, I don't eat that much, but for someone who's used to eating more than working more, they will think that food is important. For me, food is to keep me going. Not I can really go with the little portion as long as I'm able to function.
Okay.
And I was referring, John, to Europe more than Asia. You know, I'm not familiar enough with the eating schedule in Asia.
No,
but I
Mike,
know in
wherever
Europe,
wherever I've gone, I have never seen American portions in any country. I haven't been to Japan yet, but the little
Well,
bit of
the truth of it is, the little portion that you eat here is more nutritious than the big portion that you eat there, which probably is full of is processed and full of fatty stuff.
yummy fatty stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I've eaten out in a lot of European restaurants. I've never felt deprived in any of them. Had enough food.
Now, have you seen Cliff in his flight suit when he was over there in his F4, skinny Belink?
I think what the people are here for the World Cup, what they're impressed is with the variety and choices and access to different things compared to possibly in where they're coming from. You know, I know you're talking about the size of the portions, which is fine, but I think it's the access to be able to get to stuff and do things. And of course, we run more on a 24/7 schedule than other countries do. So I mean, we can go to an all-night diner and you know, get food if we wanted to. I think that the hours are a little more restricted in some other countries.
Mike, they're going to Golden Corral, and they can't believe it. They can go back in for seconds and thirds. They're amazed at the free refills.
And then the truth of it, Mike, as you said, the thing is, anything around the world, you go to America in terms of food, even African food, Asian food, Latino food, you see it in America because every good thing follows where there is money. If you come here in Japan, most of the good stuff that you see here, you go to where even they produce it, you will not see it. But you come to America, you come to Japan, you will see it because all these things follow the market where there is money.
Yeah, and you know, when we're talking about Japan, where you are, that is more of a homogeneous society. So you don't have the variety that you would have in the U.S. because we have. I think that's more so. A lot of countries tend to be more towards the homogeneous side than we are. And so when people come here, they're like, oh my gosh, look at all these different choices I get. And we're not just talking about food either. You know, all the other things you can do when they come here. You know, in a lot of countries, the bars are not open to 2 in the morning. You know, they're only open to 10 or 11 at night. And the only reason you can stay out later drinking someplace is because you belong to a private club that maybe they have later hours. So that's another thing, you know, that people come here and they're like they have more access around the clock, where a lot of the other countries they don't have those.
You see, has said that country they are a homogeneous society, but in America there's a lot of diversity, and in terms of food, in terms of even everything, you see a little bit of every part of the world here.
Well, they're talking about the super Walmarts. I got a bunch of checks I'm going to read you guys. And it says, okay, if the country was so bad and full of racism, then why do we break our immigration laws to get there? I don't remember our parents complaining and crying like the adults do now. It's a habit we have, I guess. The American male, female are not taught to eat properly. They eat garbage down their kids. They stuff garbage down their kid's throat and then work while every kid is fat and out of shape. Last text in this line is most households nowadays have landscape companies and house cleaners while their children play video games for hours. Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of finish up because I think in the next few months there's going to be this focus on Gen Z and their political attitudes, their attitude towards the country. But the survey found half Americans didn't know what we were celebrating on the 4th of July, but 2/3 of Gen Z doesn't know. Now, Gen Z are people born between 1997 and 2010, and they're young and clueless that have been turning out to vote, though they at least know to vote. I think that's something, unfortunately, Eileen is not here to defend the schools, but I don't think we're doing well. And speaking of defending...
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I've been listening to these shenanigans.
All right. So, we had a Massachusetts principal apologize to Arab students after a lesson on the Holocaust. And this is at Lexington Middle School. Well, he's under fire for apologizing after they felt unseen during a lesson on the Holocaust. He said, some of you felt like your own history, your identity, or your community was left out or erased. You were going to say something, Eileen?
No, I mean, the impact of teaching that is for them to think, wow, how lucky are we now to live in a free country that our states, our countries fought for, not to get an apology from a principal. And I mean, our history is intense and not pleasant at points, but I mean, the lesson is to take away that because we have a strong army and affiliations, is that we were able to take from all of that, essentially, and end it. But not apologize for it, because you can't do better if you don't know better, right? And that's what you have to fight for. And I think that, again, it talks to resilience and it talks to grit, and those are things that our kids don't really have today, is that grit and that getting through it, even if they feel uncomfortable.
If you don't know where you came from, how do you know where you're going? And parents today, I don't know where this came from. They don't want their kids to ever fail at anything. But
or feel uncomfortable.
Yes, and so it's something difficult if you don't learn how to get through it. I mean, it's just that's part of your getting your character and growing up, and that's what made our country great, is even though you have to face diversity, adversity, that you learn how to get through things. Things aren't always going to be fair in life. Things aren't always going to be the way you want it to go. So how you react to that and how you get through that is what makes the difference in how you go through life.
Very true. Well said, Mike.
So what was the issue, Cliff? I did not follow what you said.
Well, they were teaching about the Holocaust, the 6 million Jews killed in concentration camps, and the Arab students in Lexington complained, and their parents complained, they felt unseen during the discussion, like they had been erased.
Well, the thing, if I can just add, is that we have selective education and selective, we don't teach the true history of our true history. If in that sense, and if they only selectively do that without also teaching the whole history so that we really know who we are, as Mike said, that you have to know where you are coming from, know where you are going, not selectively let us know where we are coming from. That is not the whole and the total history, and that because we turn off the light in part of our own history and let people ignorant of our history. And when you are ignorant on part of yourself, you cannot really be fully an intellectual until you bring those parts of the history that are even not comfortable to talk. That is part of the whole story, and that is what makes people really understand themselves and be really proud to move along.
Right. Are you in a Hilton? Is that a Hilton?
It's not a Hilton, and I don't want to be to advertise for them.
Fru,
It looks beautiful there.
Fru, getting a question from the
No,
audience.
I am at the port. Behind me is the seaport. You can see ships that are anchored.
So, Fru, I got a question from the audience. Is that Nelson Mandela on your shirt?
Your audience is very observant. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So following up on what Fru said, if they'd been doing a broader teaching of history, they would have brought up how the Arab groups were playing patty cake with Adolf Hitler in the run-up to and part of World War II. That wasn't very good.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think religion is being taken much more seriously by students, especially today, and Arabic students, especially. They take their religion very, very seriously. And as much as we had diversity when I was growing up, religion wasn't really brought into it. And so now you get the kids who don't eat for Ramadan, and these kids that are hardcore at they're very hardcore at studying their religion and believing in it, and it's a lot for kids today who are just learning about it and trying to put religion together in their head. I speak of this because of experience, because my son has an Arabic friend. He's a great, great kid, but they argue all the time because Anthony tends to take what he just repeat it. So what you said there, my son said to his friend that his grandfather was best friends with Hitler, and that caused a big uproar because maybe a part of it's true, but it's a part that we don't want to talk about because it's a huge genocide. And so it's introducing learning, but my son didn't say it in like a mean way. He said it in a way like he was putting it together, but it was taken very harshly. And I don't think my son fully recognizes the effect of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Well, I'm equally saying that, I mean, the thing is, like I talked about selective education, I mean, once, what I've realized, I've served on the boards of schools there too. Once I realized if there is anything that comes about black history in the school, it's very controversial, as if black history is not part of American history. Why do so many people resent talking about that, or even teaching about slavery, which is one of the evils of men?
Because it's history. It's just history. We don't have.
And the other issues are not history.
Respectfully, we don't have white history. So we have black history, we have Hispanic history, we have Asian history. We don't have white history. Why is that? Why don't we have white history?
I am talking about slavery, which is one of the roots, the historical powers in America, in the continent. Why should people not know about it? If you talk about that history and know about it, you will be able to know the history of the country, and you will be able to respect everyone that paid a price to make the country what it is. If you try not to, the younger generation, which unfortunately AI will be controlling everything, will not know that part of the history. And that is the main reason why when mostly black people talk, people don't want to listen, because they have totally not want to know about their own history, as if it is insignificant.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, Fru, that I mean, when I was growing up, we knew about slavery, we knew about the Civil War, we knew about all that, and again, I talk about knowing history so you can move forward. If we look at even in the last 10 to 20 years, things have changed. The problem I see, or the challenge I see, is the people who are still trying to make things look terrible in our country. That's the thing that bothers me the most, whether it's from the liberal, the conservative, whatever side you want to pick. That's the thing that scares me the most, because we have moved forward. We have moved a lot farther forward. Do we still need to move more forward? Yes, I believe we do. But, if you look at now, because we have a diverse society, our younger people, I do have to say, they look at things a lot differently than my parents' generation or even my generation. And I think that's a good thing, because I think that the younger people tend to look less at, are you black, are you Asian, are you Hispanic? I think that they tend to look at things, they look at you as a human more. So I think that that's a good thing, a very good thing. And but we have the news, people that want to stir things up so that they can drive their business, and that's the thing that bothers me.
Let me just throw one question in. Why do we study history?
To learn about our past.
To avoid repeating it.
That is it, Cliff. We study history because those who ignore history are doomed to the very mistakes to do what they don't want happen in history. And if we avoid certain history, we open ourselves and say that we are continuing to do whatever happened.
I agree and totally. But again, we need to know history the good parts, the bad parts, because if we don't know that, how do we know what's good or bad? And
I tend to think when I hear you guys talk, I agree totally too. When I grew up, when you guys grew up, it was common sense. But kids are those skills to filter out what's important, what's not important so much. I agree with you, Mike. Our kids hear more and see more and don't see color. I don't think that they do. But I also think they don't know how to filter out information, or it's too much information for them because they can't even comprehend it. Because we now look at even saying no to a child as like a form of child abuse. You know what I mean? And so to expose them to that and expect them to know not to repeat it, it's going to cause them some type of trauma in some way, even though they didn't experience it.
yeah, social media is just overwhelming.
I think the more important thing that I heard from Eileen is that we have taken the power of parents to discipline kids.
Yeah.
And so you give more power to the kids. Sometimes now, parents are even afraid because of the restriction that educators that have been put in place under them. And some people, do you really feel that as a parent, that someone in the academy or in the classroom can discipline your child more than you who gave birth to this child and want the best for this child to be more than you? But the system has made it in such a way that they have tied parents' hands in their back and empowered the student and made the kids know that they have more power. That if your father or your mother wants to discipline you, you can pick up the phone and report them. And when they come, they will not listen to your parents. So while the adults who are better placed and whose parents also discipline and train them to be productive and well and who they are today, are actually selling that authority, that parental authority. And we are the ones who are making the future of tomorrow bad, and then we are blaming the kids. No.
I just want to point, I agree with you, Fru, about that. And I just want to point out, see, when people hear the word discipline, they think of somebody getting spanked or physical abuse. But the thing now is, even if you yell at your kid or you tell them, yeah, we can't go to your friend's house tonight, that they're using that as abuse now. And parents are like, well, not anymore. And it's even the teachers in classrooms. I mean, Eileen, you're a teacher. Compared to when you were growing up or I was growing up, you know, the disrespect, because kids look at it, they're like, what are you going to do to me? There's nothing you can do to me. Oh, you're going to suspect. Oh, good. I can stay home and play video games all day. You know, so.
And they use it as leverage, you know, and it's pretty sad that we as a society have even allowed that to go so far. But yeah, it's really sad. Like, the wheels of justice have turned, and not for the better. I was watching, you know, the Law and Crime channel over the weekend, and I was watching a young boy being sentenced because he killed somebody on a playground. And it's like, it's happening when you take all the rights of a parent away and you want to let the kids, you know, run the roost. And it's just sad, and it's rampant. And it's just like, we don't know our roles as teachers. We don't know our roles as parents anymore. And we're trying to navigate a world that we're not even used to, with technology being what it is, and kids knowing more about technology than we do, and yet, you know, trying to catch up with where they're at and trying to pull their higher intelligence for technology into education. But it's an unknown world, and I think a lot of leaders are just scared to begin to navigate this world. It's easier to stay in what they know instead of going into what they don't know. But put money and research into knowing what to do with this generation of kids. Help parents, help teachers, help students know their roles and what's what, because we're not doing well.
So look, I got to blast through these two texts. We're going to go. Cell phone is more dangerous to society than slavery ever was. Look how people are controlled by a device that's not needed. Next text. When we all grew up, we weren't manipulated by the media like now. Well, all we know is what the media tells us. Very good point. Back to you, Cliff.
My observation here, which was strange, was that I see young kids, young kids walking and going to school alone. Can that happen in America?
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because of digital addiction. All the kids are stuck on their phone 24/7. You walk through a restaurant and you see the kids not talking to their parents. They're on their phone. Their phone is more important to them than anything.
I'm saying that the safety, the kids are walking to school. You see them coming back and walking by themselves. That shows the level of what happened in Mike, that cannot happen now. We have really, I don't know.
It's okay. We're going to a break.
Yep.
Back, and we'll pick this thread up because I have a question for Fru.
Yes, Cliff. We're in break.
I'm ready to go back.
You're on.
Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff, your host. My co-host Eileen Delrossi is zooming in. We have Fru Nkimbeng, who is fruing in from Osaka, Japan. We have Mike Smith, who's only coming to us from the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And we have our producer, John McDonough. And we've been discussing a number of issues on the Dawn Patrol. And Fru, I wanted to talk about slavery, and which is a real blot on our history, and slavery. But the globe.
If you are asking me that slavery is a global issue, but it doesn't stop you from teaching your own people about your own involvement in slavery. Because the more we are educated, the more we are informed. It's more or less like if you are sitting in a house and there is no light and there is a switch and people are sitting there in the darkness. When once you start teaching, it's like you turn on the switch. When you turn on the switch in the room where people are sitting in darkness, what happens? They see and then they know, and they know that something happened that should not have happened, and that we will make good amends, that it should not happen again, and people are well informed and respect each other. That is, and treat people as it is said in the Bible, do unto others as what could be done unto you. That is the essence of it, because if people understand that, they will do everything to make sure that it shouldn't happen is indirectly saying that it was a good thing and it should continue. And that is what pains people who were in that situation. Because only he who wears the shoe knows the angle it pinches most. And if you allow those people to express themselves and teach those who were never in that position, now you see that we will all atone and then accept our past and build a better future.
Yeah, I agree with you, Fru, on that, and I think it's even more important now than even in the past to teach history about our country and where we were and how we've changed. Because with AI and all the stuff that goes on in the internet, these kids are seeing all kinds of stuff. And how do you filter out what's true and what's not true? And how do you filter out what's true and not true? You teach the proper history in school so kids know, hey, this is what's really going on. This is what's happened. I mean, there's still people denying that the Holocaust even happened, and they believe it. And we know that's absolutely not true.
Well, the lopsided history of the Holocaust is not only Jews got extinguished.
Correct.
And everybody else is excluded. And, I get a kick out of watching television, help the starving Jews. Well, wait a second. In my world, we help anybody who's starving. We don't say, hey, look, can you show us your rosary beads and we'll help you out?
Yeah. No,
and then one thing about the Holocaust that you are saying, Mike, is the survivors are still alive to tell the stories. We have people who went through that. They are alive to tell the stories. And then in slavery, we also have the black people who went through that. Isn't it that truth for the survivors to come out and share their story if you really want to know the history? Know it from people who lived it, who suffered it, and who were persecuted. Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, it's just like all the the World War II or whatever veterans that are still alive that they were interviewing. I saw over the weekend for 4th of July. Amazing. I was impressed. There was this one veteran, 104 years old. They were showing a clip with these ladies singing a song from World War II in front of them. The guy looked like he was like my age almost. I mean, he was standing up, alert. I mean, if we don't have the people to share that story. I mean, look at all the civilizations they passed down their history from generation to generation. And, this with slavery, we know what happened. It was different back then. I'm not excusing it, but it was different. And people, I don't think realized the severity of how bad it was. Then people started to realize it. Now people have realized, hey, this is not good at all. And the thing that makes the United States so great is the diversity. We're talking earlier about Japan or China, different countries, homogeneous. When you have a diversity like the U.S., you get the different views. So you get to see how things are around you in the world. And I think that's part of the reason people coming here from different countries, they've got I don't know if I should call it an epiphany, but they've seen that, hey, there's a lot of different things in the world to see now, and more than what we've just seen. And it's not just about food; it's about all the different people that are here. And I think that, like I say, if more people traveled or did things to broaden their information, we'd have even a better society.
And Cliff, if you permit me, may I also throw it in that when you start seeing that communities and a race of people are saying Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, what does that mean? Mean they have been how we all can move forward. But there are some people who would resist to death. People's history to be shared, to be taught in classrooms. You prevent and so what revisionism, because you are not part of that group, and because you don't want your own people, your own children to be educated about that part of the history. Is it a disservice to that generation, or you are continuing to perpetuate what existed to divide the groups? And that is why there is more racial division in this country, because in our country we allow the many fabric that makes that cloth for everyone to know, to bring their own background and their own history, so that I can ask, if I ask, I can be proud enough to talk about the history of a Caucasian, and I can be proud enough to talk about the history of someone from Asia, and be proud enough to talk about the history of someone from African descent, who is part of this melting pot that is called America.
So, Fru, who went to Japan with you?
My very self, John. You know, my pockets are not very full. If I were, I would bring the entire family with me.
So it's just you that went?
It's me that went, John. If I asked you to borrow me money to take the family there, would you help me with that?
Well, I wouldn't. Well, hey, I'm glad you're. Now, what's the weather like over there?
Oh, rainy, John. Rainy. I went to the temple. It was raining, and John, a lot of experience. I will share a lot of pictures.
Okay, that's a good plan. When are you coming back to the United States?
Well, I'll be coming back by weekend.
Excuse me.
So you're going to be there till Friday?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a good time and you don't run out of money.
John, if I'm running home, know that money is gone. My money is finished.
The flight there, Fru.
The flight is about 10 hours, because I flew from Calgary.
Oh.
Yes, it's about 10, 12 hours.
Okay.
How far from Boston to Calgary?
Oh, it's about 3 hours.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
It is not a short flight.
No, it's not. So, Cliff, I have something I didn't see on your agenda that I caught in the news the other day. Is you know how they're having in D.C. They're having the Great American 250th celebration of the fair down in D.C. and all the 50 states are having booths there. And there's been a lot of controversy where some of the states have not had anything in their booths because they don't like what's going on for this fair. I saw an article for Massachusetts as one of those states, and this lady actually got together and went down there to help promote Massachusetts in the booth, even though the state wouldn't send down people to run the booth and do stuff. So what do you know about that? Do you guys there know anything about that?
Well, I don't know anything about Massachusetts. I do know that some people in Pennsylvania got together and created a unofficial Pennsylvania booth. They got documents and stuff like that to show the people when the Pennsylvania government under Josh Shapiro did nothing.
So look, I got some texts here. So let me put them up. We can read them out there. Great point, comrade. Whoops. Sorry. How did the African slaves get here to America? I think they came on boats. Great point, comrade. How many countries have helped us out to the degree that Americans help others around the world. Who helped us out of the Strait of Hormuz? Back to you, Cliff.
Okay.
Well, I just want to add one thing in there because I'm reading those comments from the people. Yes, we have helped a lot of countries, but a lot of times we've done things in countries for our benefit too. So, we've gone in there to benefit us more than them. So we're not entirely innocent on everything for that.
To add on that, Mike, I think that we shouldn't be so ignorant that we are just throwing free money anywhere. Wherever we help, $1 that we give out, about $100 come in different ways. We don't just give because we want to give. Mostly in the third world, all the resources, the raw materials, and everything come, but we don't count that as what we did for it to also run our own economy. I mean, that's the ignorance that exists, that we are giving aid. You don't give free aid. You don't give free aid to people who are that you want to help them, but you take more in terms of resources that could also help them develop. So, but this is where people who just, when you listen to mainstream media, we have given aid to this country in Africa, but that aid, the same American experts, if they give that aid just for the locals to take it, an American expert going there will live in the best hotel. It is part of that aid. And they will consume that hotel, that aid that you have given. If they had employed the locals who are equally very intelligent about their own situation, they can use their local ingenuity to develop themselves, they will advance. But when we send this aid, that aid comes back to us because our go there and live and use part of those aids. So please let us just do our research before we throw words around.
Well, that was exactly what I was saying, Fru, is that we're not so innocent on everything. We've gone into different countries because to help us benefit us. I mean, and we're not alone in that as a country. There's other countries that have done it also. But, we don't go into countries just for the heck of it. Now, if there's disasters, like an earthquake, like down in Venezuela, we're sending aid down there to help them. That's in a different category. But a lot of times we go into countries, and it's not just us, because we know that if we do certain things, it's going to benefit us too. So that's normal. We're going to do things. People want to do things for certain things so that they benefit too from it. But like you said, we're not just going in there all the time just because we're there to help. We're going to get something out of it.
I gotta go through these.
And I just want to add that what we are saying is not that we are really expert. We are just sharing our own experiences. Because when the Western powers, when they go to this third world nation, they put certain conditions. And when you listen to the West, to the mainstream media, which we have agreed that it is a one-way stream, and that he who controls the media controls the narrative, they will sell it as if they are the good Samaritan going out there. These people, they bring this aid. They say you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this on our conditions. These people coming to tell them to do this, to do this. It is, if you do that, then you are going to continue to manage them. You are telling them that they are not capable of governing themselves, that you are the one who will come and teach them how to be fish to eat. Don't give me fish to eat, but teach me how to fish. That's what the Chinese are doing.
Okay, so we're going to read these texts. Starting off, great point, Mike. One of them, Mike, was a great point. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization founded by Patricia Coloris, has been indicted and convicted of fraud. A question from Mr. Fru, is there a special meal he's looking forward to eating while in another country? And sports taught us how to be disciplined and have structure. With sports in decline in America, with sports in decline, the American male are not taught how to problem solve, be healthy. I don't process that question well. So, Fru, any meal that you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, John, when I travel, I like to go to the suburb, not sit in the cities, because in the cities, the city is already a concrete jungle. When you go to the suburb, you talk to real people. I mean, you will see some of my videos and see what temples I've visited and the people. I mean, I just talk to the common people on the street. Those are the people that you really know. You interact with them. People in the city, I don't really, coming from the big city, I don't know very much. And then the people in the suburb are very original, very natural. They receive you like one of their own. And I've gotten the best treatment in the areas that I've gone that I never really experienced of Japan. And from now on, I'm looking at Japan from a different perspective, based on how the locals in the neighborhoods that I've gone there have treated me.
Very good.
All right, I'd like to switch things up. Eileen, how's your surgery recovery coming?
So it's getting better. The carpal tunnel is good. I went for my follow-up last week, but I don't remember. So the stitches for the cubital tunnel is on my elbow, so they keep just popping off, and so I'm not used to that. I've never really had stitches that have been in such an awkward place, and so I think they're all finally out. So I don't know. If you have a wound, sometimes does it just ooze out after we're having stitches? Do you know?
I don't know. That sounds kind of yucky to me.
Yeah, it is yucky. But no, I just keep looking at it. It's not red. It's not infected. I even have my mother, who's a former nurse, look at it. She's like, no, it looks great. I mean, I went last week for the follow-up. I don't know. I think maybe because they used liquid Band-Aid too in it. I think they some type of liquid stitches. I think that's what's coming out of it also.
So look, I'm going to do the announcements real quick. Wrong button. Today is July 6th. So over at the Lowell Senior Center, the only rule is you got to be 60 years old. We don't care. We don't care if you live in Timbuktu. You can live any place you want. As long as you're over 60, you're welcome at the Lowell Senior Center. Today they're going to have beef chili for lunch, $2. If you don't have the $2, well, we'll give it to you for free. Trips coming up at the Lowell Senior Center. They got some great trips coming up this month. And tomorrow they're going to Rockport. And then on Thursday they're going to Old Orchard Beach. And then next week, the 14th, they're going to go to take a look at the tall ships. And the 16th, they're going to go to the King Tut Museum exhibit in Boston. 21st, they're going to Hampton Beach. and the 23rd they're going to Algonquin. So good time to be had. Just there's a phone number there you can call, and if you're interested in one of these trips, be in touch with the Lowell Senior Center, and they'll put you in a good direction. Lowell Firefighters Club is sponsoring a motorcycle ride to benefit a Chelmsford firefighter, Nick Spinelli. It's going to be Saturday, July 11th. That's this coming Saturday at 9 o'clock. Kickstands go up at 11. So there's a $500 prize. So take your fancy phone out of your pocket. Be in touch with this guy, Bill DeRocha. That's his phone number. Or you can email him for more information. So there's only 2 stops going to be on this ride. The donation is $25 per biker and $15 per passenger. So hope to see you over there on Saturday. And the LRTA buses continue to be free through September 30th. You don't have to pay. Just give the bus driver a hearty wave, and he or she will give you a nice free ride. Cliff, thanks.
Okay. So Eileen, there was a school committee meeting last week. Did we get around to giving this kid free rides from home to school?
Yes. It
Go ahead.
was just a quick meeting. The questions were asked about it. It was overall just a quick meeting.
Okay. Are you going to meet in July?
Maybe. I'll let you know.
Hey, Mike, I got a soccer question for you. So, Michael, I'm watching soccer over the weekend, and I see all the soccer players. Put me on the screen here. Boy, the system's very sluggish this morning. So, I'm watching soccer, and a whole line of guys is all lined up, almost shoulder to shoulder, and they run towards the goal post. What the heck are they doing?
So that's usually done after a goal. A lot of them are going to, they run into the corner of the field to celebrate. And a lot of times they'll do that because a lot of their fans are down by the goal where they just, so that's probably what you're seeing. You'll see and they're all jumping up and down and, like they're having a big celebration, right?
I'll pay closer attention next time, but it looked like American football.
They are praying that the match should end at that moment if they were winning.
Yeah, well, it depends on how early in the match it is, and if they've scored a couple goals, they want more. So, yeah, it's gonna get tougher and tougher as you get to each round now. So, by the one team I thought Mexico would make it to the semifinals, they're out now. So I got to see if the other teams I picked are going to make it that far. So we'll see. All I can say is Argentina is in a good bracket. They've got a good chance of making it to the semifinals and finals, from what I'm seeing.
Morocco did very well. Morocco knocked Canada out.
Yeah. But now they got to play France, and that's going to be that's almost like a finals game. Morocco and France playing each other. So
the French team is an African team. In every African nation, you have Mbappe whose father is from Cameroon. You have players whose father are from Cameroon, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and all the players are.
I know, it's interesting. If you looked at the Canadian team, you look at their background too. So it's not, you look at a lot of the teams, but Norway, you've got players that come from the other countries too. Yes. So, it's, you see that in a lot of the teams, but it's been very entertaining, big crowds, good games. I tend to look at it from the referee's point of view on how the game's going and what's happening. I have a thread with a number of other referees, and we're texting during the games, back and forth what we saw or what we thought should happen. So it's my son and I have come to some disagreements, even though he was a referee, on what we thought about different things in the games, especially about this American player, Balogun, coming back to play for the U.S. And I pointed a lot of stuff out to him, and he's like, yeah, but it's still, they shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, well, it's not just unique to the U.S., but the U.S. is a high-profile team, and a lot of people weren't aware. I think it was good this came out because now people are seeing FIFA had done it for a number of other players also. But all I know is FIFA's going to make a lot of money from this World Cup, a lot of money. So,
Okay.
So I got 3 texts to read here. Then we'll go back over to Cliff. Great show today. It's a pleasure having Fru a little longer than usual. That's from Jay. And a question, at the Egyptian exhibit, do you have to walk like an Egyptian? I don't know how an Egyptian walks, so I don't think you have to. Most dogs.
I think what they're saying is like this.
Cliff, can you stand up and give us a full visual?
No,
Most
that's
dogs.
as far as I'm going.
Last text, most dogs go crazy on the 4th from the fireworks. Did the big red dog enjoy all the fireworks on Saturday night?
I was trying to sleep, so I heard all the fireworks.
did any of you late enough to watch the fireworks in D.C.?
I watched some of them and then I shut them off.
That was quite the display. I guess they had that. It was in the river, the Potomac, where they were firing them off. They had 8 barges they were firing them off from. It was quite the thing. We down here on our clubhouse, we have a deck off the clubhouse that oversees the pond near us, and we could watch fireworks from the city of Largo and then Heats and Clearwater. So we had like surround fireworks. That's what here we all go down there and watch. You can watch fireworks from like 3 or 4 different areas. So that was quite the show again.
Well,
The
I have
Boston
issue
fireworks were great.
for
The road
Eileen.
fireworks, you couldn't see them.
So, a friend of mine recently suggested that as we replace the MCAS, we go with comprehensive tests. And this person suggested if you pass a comprehensive test on your subjects, say in 10th grade or earlier, you can graduate early and move on with your life. And if you take the test and you don't pass, you don't move on, you get recycled into remedial courses. How about that, having a movable high school graduation, Eileen?
Well, I believe that's what used to happen when you did not pass a test, but I think that today's day and age, I don't think you'd get away with that because you'd be discriminating against somebody who wasn't getting the right grades. And maybe it's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different reasons now that they could say that's not a good idea.
But if someone has got the high school knowledge at age 16, why shouldn't they be allowed to go on to college?
Oh, I wasn't talking about, no. I wasn't talking about the ones that do have the knowledge. I'm saying that it would be called unfair for those who do not have the knowledge and are recycled back. That's what I'm saying, because you can't have a leveling off system. Even though leveling off happens, ultimately, no matter what in life, nobody in the K through 12 system wants to feel like one person may be smarter than another without feeling hurt or having big feelings about it not being a good feeling that somebody else may be smarter than them. It kind of recycles back to everything we were talking about earlier. I think it's fair, but I don't know. I just think no matter what Massachusetts chooses to do, it's not going to be easy.
You got any thoughts on this, Fru?
I didn't quite understand the root of your question. What could you simplify it to my understanding?
Well, we give the students access to tests, and if they pass the tests, instead of graduating when they're 18, then graduate when they're 15 or 16 and move on to college. So just based on the testing, and if they don't pass the test showing the knowledge they're supposed to have, then they get plowed back and get an extra year, maybe not graduating until they're 19.
Well, I think the race is not for the swift, but for the one who is well prepared. If that person doesn't pass an exam, that means that he or she has not laid a solid foundation. And would it be bad for that person to humble himself and lay that foundation before moving forward? And if you really want to get the best of that person, probably that person may not like, but going forward, he will know that a solid foundation will be able to last him longer.
Okay.
There was a TV show called Young Sheldon. That's exactly what happened. The kid was super smart, and he just took over. They sent him off to college, and he did well in college. And but it did also show how immature a child is to be let into college as an option. And I don't think that they understand how immature they really are.
Right, and even though Sheldon is super, super smart, he had a lot of social setbacks and failures socially because he wasn't of that age to be able to, or he didn't have the right state of mind or the coping strategies or whatever to integrate into a college population at that time. But he learned by fire.
Well, the poor kiddo didn't know when he was being insulted.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
But my personal experience has been that I learn more from failures than just succeeding. Because when and someone who it's like a student who has been failing in class and a student who has continuously have A's, in the end, the person who has been failing knows more about life than the person who you have been having all the A's, and then at the top of your career, you fail. You will not really catch up, and you will not really be able to handle it.
Yeah. I love the story of Abraham Lincoln and Walt Disney.
Yes.
Like how many times they failed over and over and over again. And they persevered.
They persevere, and with that perseverance, it comes also the skills and the temperament to be able to control people, because you have lived through the thin and thick of life, and you know you are empathy, you are compassionate, you accept and think twice before you make a decision.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have a friend who's like, how can you be so patient? I can't stand this. I'm like, all of life is patience. Like, you can't, like, expect anything to be easy and just happen quickly the first time. That's just not how life works. You have to have patience. You have to have understanding.
So I think Eileen, as a school representative, I would think that to our students, if any of them are listening, failure is not the end of the world. Failure is just laying a foundation. That life is full of ups and downs. And the more ups and towns to go through, the more you will resist, and then the more you will sustain and enjoy your success.
Yeah. It's funny. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, to add into that, when we were kids, you didn't have your parents hovering over you on every little thing. You had to figure things out, as far as how to manage different things. And you didn't, your parents were always stepping in, to do your battles. I remember one story when I joined Boy Scouts when I was 11. Okay. I was in a Boy Scout patrol. I didn't like my patrol leader. And so I went to my dad and I said, Dad, you got to go and talk to the scoutmaster, and you got to have him put me in a different patrol because I don't like him. My dad says, no, I won't do that. He said, I'll go to the scoutmaster, but you need to talk to him. And I talked, and the scoutmaster said, no, you got to know how to deal with different people. That's how it is. You're going to have to, you're not always going to have people you like. So I learned a real important lesson at a young age. So
I joined you. I was a guy to BP, means be prepared.
Yes. So I just, there's an example. It's not, some people may look at it, it's not a major thing, but, I learned early on that, you're going to have to deal with things you may not like in that, and
I was sitting out on my front steps last weekend, and I saw a little girl on her bike, and she came and she fell off the hill, and I looked quick. The parents were right behind her, but the mom was like, all right, get up. Like, rub your knees off. Let's go. Come on, you're fine. Let's go. And I just thought in that, little snippet of life, she's teaching her child, she's going to fall, but get up. You're fine. Wipe those knees off, right? And I couldn't help but smile because it's so true.
Yeah, you can't keep bailing the kids out. I know some teacher friends of mine that parents would come in, especially in high school, and they'd be telling the teacher, you got to give my kid to retake this test again. He only got an 80 on the test. He needs a 90 or above to help him get into this school. And my feeling is that no, you should be sitting down with your kid and saying, why did you only get an 80 on the test, and what do you need to do to get that 90? And you need to put the effort in. It's not the fault of the teacher. It's it's the student who needs to change.
Or why are you trying to go to a college that you're not fitting into by your own studying? Maybe you need to look at your own self and figure out what you really want, and not just at a college that you want to go to, and figure out what may better suit you as well.
Yeah. And unfortunately, what people don't realize, and parents are just as guilty of this as the students, once you get out of college, you're 3-4 years out of college, and you've started a job, and now you want to get a different job. Employers, they may want to know what college you went to. They don't look at your GPA. They're looking at what you did at the previous job, or how you're going to fit in and how you're going to function in this new company. That doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right. And that's what they're saying about kids today. They're only staying, after they graduate, they're only staying at jobs for a very short period of time, and they're using all of their sick time and vacation time, or any perks that they have, to take as much time off as possible and get paid, which is something that was always you go to work, you save your time in case there's an emergency. That's how I grew up. And today it's being just thrown out the window because I don't think our students believe there's a good economic future for themselves out there too, and I think that plays into it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a good economic future for people who are willing to continue to learn and to work hard. I mean, that's part of the reason how our country people come here, because they know there's an opportunity. Remember that in our Constitution, Declaration of Independence, the words are, you have the right for the pursuit of happiness. There's no guarantee of happiness or success. You have the right to do that, but how you put the effort in is what happens down the road.
Right. Very true.
Okay. So, last week was hot. It was so hot that the mayor of New York City wanted people to put their thermostats at 78 degrees, and they turned off all the escalators.
It was hotter than Florida.
So an escalator uses the same energy as it takes to cool a 1,500 square foot living space. So that's somebody pointed out that New York's real problem was they shut down the Indian Point nuclear power plant prematurely and without a replacement. Right. And now here they are. And meanwhile, in France, some official, where they've had deaths from heat, which is not unusual, that's happened before. The only place you can get air conditioning is in the morgue. So some official in France was blaming air conditioning in the United States for the warming issue. The funny thing is, we've got like 240 million air conditioners in the United States. China was not mentioned. They've got around 440 million air conditioners. So,
and they're also using a lot of coal-fired plants to generate the electricity for that.
Yep, they are.
What's the population of China?
Around 1 billion.
1.1.
And how many air conditioners? Less than 100? Less than 500,000?
No, 500 million, he said.
Oh, that's a good amount then. Good for them. Better than I thought. Because the problem with Europe is they can't generate enough electricity to support air conditioning in everyone's house.
I don't think it's a can't. I think it's a won't.
I think it's a cultural thing.
I know you like
there.
to choose words, Cliff, but that was the word I chose. I'm sorry you didn't like it.
Yeah, I think, John, it's more cultural. They just have endured not having air conditioning, and they just don't look at it as something necessary. So when it gets really hot, they just sort of just plow through it. I mean, when I went to New Zealand a couple times to see my son, that's what I shouldn't say concern, but what surprised me is how little air conditioning they have. And it's not just at like homes, even the hotels and stuff like that, they don't have that stuff there. So it's a way they do this.
I agree. When we went to Switzerland, they put us on the 17th floor of the hotel, and the windows were all open in the room, and I'm like, just put the AC on. They don't have AC in Switzerland. They have porn. They have porn on the TV. Turn on the TV. There's naked girls all over the TV set, and they're like, "What the heck is?"
I don't know. I'm ignorant of the technology, but France has issue because the free uranium that they were having from Mali has closed that, and France is barely struggling.
Life, we got. If I get the graphic to come up again. Bobby always going to be here. Cisco Maldonado. Independent candidate for state rep, Joe Espinola, and Sean McDonough's coming. I think Tommy Bomo's banging out. I think he's going to Foxwoods, but we'll see in the morning. And then the last text of most recent text. Great show today. Now that Brazil is over to win.
Brazil is out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they lost.
Who knocked him out? Norway.
Norway, I believe.
Norway,
I believe.
Yeah, Norway knocked him out. Yeah.
Wow. So it will be probably a European final if Argentina is out.
That's why I said.
I'm rooting for the US.
That's why I said you could have a final 20. It looks like France and Argentina could meet each other again in the final. It's a big possibility. So,
Wow.
yeah. Brazil was not as strong in this tournament, just like Germany getting beat.
If you watch the match yesterday, Norway was really playing like a catch-up. And I mean, they were very strategic, pulling back, going forward, pulling back. They were played very well.
Well, last night England beat Mexico in Mexico.
Yeah, that's almost unheard of. They said that was only like maybe the second or third time ever that's happened. Yeah, that was Mexico. Played a good game. They had a lapse of about a minute and a half where England scored 2 quick goals, and that was it. That was what hurt them, the worst.
They should have let Mexico win and let them lose till they come back to the U.S.
Yeah. Well,
That's too bad to lose in front of the home crowd.
Yeah. So the U.S. the only host country still left. So we'll see if they can get past Belgium then tonight. So.
That painful one was Canada losing to Morocco. That's in front of their fans too.
Yeah, but that was not a surprise. Morocco's a good team. They made it to the semifinals 2022. So that's.
They were the finalists in the African Cup too.
Yeah. So that's why I said France is going to be playing Morocco, and that's almost like a final. That's going to be a big game. So.
Well, I'm glad that President Trump stepped in and got that player back on the U.S. team.
Well, yeah, there's all kinds of reports on that, and I don't, I think that it didn't hurt for him to call, of course, but I think the disciplinary committee did the right thing. Being a referee and watching the replays and seeing things from other games, he wasn't going after the guy, wasn't trying to kick him or do anything to him. He wasn't even looking at him. He had was stopping and turning to try to get to the ball, and when he did that, his foot came down on the other guy's leg. Also had turned to try to get the ball, who was up in the air a little bit. So, it wasn't something that was done to hurt or do something to another player. He could have gotten I wouldn't have been upset about that if they'd given him a caution. But to give him a red card for that, that was not the right call. And I think the disciplinary committee looked at it, and they made the right choice.
But I don't think that it also speaks well of us from what John had to step. It doesn't speak well of us internationally. It doesn't.
Well,
look at Trump could cure cancer, and it wouldn't be okay in your book.
No, John. In sports, I'm just look at it from the international and the opinion that the power that they had to come in and do this. When you look at it from that point, it doesn't look well. It doesn't feel well.
No, I understand your point of view, Fru, and it's unfortunate, that's what everybody's making out of that. I'm hoping that even if Trump had not called, that they would have made this decision. And it's based, a lot of people weren't aware with Ronaldo and other players that they'd already done this already. So
if an African dictator does this, we will go on the air and do that. Mike, I totally agree with you. Let the sports official do it and come up with a decision. Because if this were done in another country, with the way we would have talked, it's different. So let us not go down.
I think that FIFA made a big mistake in the way they assigned the VAR officials, because unfortunately with politics nowadays, and I don't know if that played into it or not, but they have a Venezuelan official in the VAR on the game with all the problems with the U.S. and Venezuela. That was probably not a good choice by FIFA. They could have done it a little differently. We talk about the optics in that. So, but again, I mean, it's unfortunate they're making all this thing with Trump, calling them. I'm hoping that they were going to make this decision anyways, and we'll just see how that plays out. I mean, the U.S. may not even beat Belgium, and then it's a moot point, so we'll see what happens. And he may not even score any goals in the game when they play Belgium. So we'll see what happens.
I'm just saying that my president should not be dragged in. My president is above all this. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree with Fru.
Yeah, I understand it. I'm sure some people were talked with Trump, and he goes, "Well, I'll just call the guy and see what's going on." But who knows?
Maybe the president doesn't understand that he's not a neutral character in making a call like that.
He understands. No, don't make excuses for him, Cliff. Trump is not stupid. We may not agree with everything he does or how he does things, but he's not. He understands. He didn't make that call by accident. When he made that call, he knew he has leverage. He knows he has influence. So I'm not making any excuses for him. No.
Okay. I want to end up. I have one other thing for Eileen, but
I just want to intercede with this here. Have other country leaders called FIFA? The answer is yes. U.S. President Donald Trump, he's the first one, contacted the Guyana guy. 1 game, 1 red card suspension. This call successfully going on historic show more.
Well, I'm sure that from Portugal, they contacted FIFA before the World Cup about Ronaldo. I'm sure somebody from that organization had a talk with them about that.
Well, it says that they've been contacted by Brazil, and I'm just confident it's not the first time. Shame on Belgium. Right. So there's a lot of media out there, but I can't find any history of people, of heads of state being in touch with FIFA before. That's a first in my book.
Well, I mean, it could have happened already. It's just that it didn't happen during the World Cup. I mean, somebody contacted or talked with people for Ronaldo. I'm sure of that, because he had a 3-game suspension, and they basically said, "Yeah, you can come play in the World Cup. Just don't do anything stupid the next year, and we'll let those that 2-game suspension go by the wayside." The remaining 2 days.
The truth of it, Mike, we are talking of what we know. Let's not talk of what we don't know and which is not public. It looks like we are trying to camouflage things and give.
Okay. I'm not trying to I know how this works because I've been a referee for a long, long time. I know how this stuff works. So this did not happen by accident that Ronaldo got to play in the World Cup when he had a 3-game suspension. They didn't just say, "Oh, geez, what the heck?" Somebody contacted FIFA. Someone pulled the strings. Yeah, somebody pulled the strings, yes. So, and it wasn't just Ronaldo. There was a couple other players from other countries that they did the same thing for, that they suspended that not being able to play. So, again, it's not something that hasn't happened. It's because it's the U.S. It's because it's Trump. Anything with Trump is going to be big news. Anything. So,
that's true.
A text from the audience. Unfortunately, charity fraud and was exploiting political donors on board with Black Lives Matter.
Surprised that we're only now getting around to outlawing sex between students and teachers. I mean,
we got 2 minutes.
With all due deference to Emmanuel Macron and his wife, Brigitte.
the 20-year difference between the woman that slapped her husband on the plane.
Yeah.
Listen, that's just a weird set of people, like Mary Kay Letourneau and whoever that teacher was. Like, there's something wrong with those people. That's why they get into that profession, I think. And it's sick and it's twisted and it's another form of taking advantage of children and child trafficking, unfortunately. And I just want to let you know, like, those thoughts, they just don't even cross my mind whatsoever. And the fact that it does is crazy for other people.
But
What?
do we have any problems like this in Lowell?
We did at the Robinson.
Oh.
So it was a teacher. I'll look up the article and get it to John and you.
30 seconds.
Yeah, because it's about to end. What a great note to end on, Cliff. Happy Monday, everybody.
Well, I can give you something more positive. In addition to what Cliff said about today, National Days, today is National Fried Chicken Day. So people love fried chicken. Go and enjoy some fried chicken today.
Fried chicken.
Yep.
Plus, I'm a teacher 20 years older than you.
I'm very happy that Fru was able to be with us for the second hour. Thank you, Fru. Thanks, Mike.
Travel is the best education.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, I believe that.
Thanks, Eileen.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye-bye,
We'll
everybody.
see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, guys, have a great day. Here, Eileen, you can see I wore my 250th shirt that I wore on 4th of July today. See?
Hey, thanks, Mike. Stay cool. Thanks, Fru.
All right, have a
Brushing up on your Japanese over there.
I think he left already, so.
Cliff, have a good day.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye.